Alright, so here's, I guess the next video I'm going to be making is essentially how to take apart and clean an Alpha Beast and put it back together, and how I do it. And yeah, so basically we're going to start by unscrewing the pivots. I don't have any Loctite, so it's irrelevant to me, but yeah. Forgot to mention the things you'll need, at least the things that I use. Paper towels. We have some, I use isopropyl alcohol, or rubbing alcohol, it doesn't matter. Windex to clean the liners, or the scales in this case. And a bunch of paper towels. And then I have two little like Tupperwares here for keeping them organized. Unfortunately, I don't have anywhere else to put the screws and whatnot. So yeah, I got the T8s and the T10s. So the T10s are the pivot screws, obviously. T8s are in my spacers. One thing I need to mention is when you're doing this, right here, I don't know if you can see that, but I took the scale, or the handle, the slat, and I lifted it up, and I pushed it to the point where the pivot is kind of stopping it there. See that right there? And that creates tension on here. If you have Loctite, be careful, you may strip or break these heads off. But it makes everything a lot easier when you're unscrewing and screwing in things, because the barrels don't twist, or spin, I should say. So we have one handle down. We got the bushing, the pivot, sex bolt. We got the spacer sex bolts, and the spacer, and the two handle slabs. We do, and the two washers. These are tiny washers compared to what you'll actually have, but they work. There. Again, same thing, create some pressure with the sex bolt. Don't forget to unscrew the latch screw. We'll leave that there. Okay, so the reason why I have two of these is so that we can wipe down one side of the handle. And so this one's going to be the left side here. This one's going to be the right side here. Now I'm just wiping these down just to make it easier so that the alcohol actually takes off all the oil and stuff and not drop it. I should let it be known that I do have two layers just in case, because these will be wet when I take them out. So now what we're going to do, grab another piece of paper towel. We're going to dip a little bit into here and wipe down the pivot holes. And that's done. Now, we got another piece of paper. And so we're going to use a little bit of the alcohol. Just to clean all the oil off of the handles. Yeah, it's super dirty. All this blade rub is like starting to wear it down. Alright, so now that that's all done, I'm just going to wipe it down real quick dry, just to make sure that there's no alcohol left. The other thing that you want to do before all of this is wash your hands. Make sure they are clean. Alright, so now that all that's done, oh wait, I forgot one thing. We got to do the same to the spacers. Make sure that the spacers are clean. Now that everything's wiped down, I'm gonna get this out of the way because we don't need the alcohol anymore. Grab another small piece of paper towel. And now we're going to use the Windex, or whatever brand of glass cleaner that you have. And doing this on the anode is going to kind of bring it out and clean it. What I don't have with me right now is a little bit of oil, but you could 100% put some oil on the blade to help it prevent from rusting. Just let it like soak in a bit of oil. But I mean, I take pretty good care of my blade. I don't have any rust on here or anything. It's just beat the hell up. So I don't really mind it. Alright, so now that all that's done, I'm just going to double up on a paper towel here just so that it doesn't actually soak into my desk. We're going to grab the parts. Now the sex bolt's going to have a little bit of liquid inside of, itself, so I just take it and I just like kind of pat it down on top of the paper towel just to make sure that everything's out. Make sure it's dry, and then just dry up the bushing. Alright, so that one's all done. Now I'll grab the other side. And you could let this soak for a little bit longer if you just want to get all of the oil off of it. Just let it soak for quite a long time, but for the video's sake, it doesn't really matter, and I don't like not being able to flip my knives, so. So now everything's done. Assembly. Now, let's try to remember here. Spacer went this way. Does it really matter? We'll do it this way. So this is going to be the safe handle. One washer. And at this point, I normally grab, I use Blue Lube, but you can use like Miltech or some other. And I just take like one little drop right there on the washer, right before I put the bushing. And then I'll put the bushing on, put the blade. At this point, I will grab wherever my sex bolts are. I just realized it's got to be the bite handle. Because it's got that little screw hole there. Let's see. Yeah. That's how it's supposed to be. Cool. And then I'll take another drop of lube and I'll put it right there so that it gets into the bushing and for this washer. We'll go ahead and set that there. Create the tension. Grab the screwdriver. Now again, I know many people complained and continue to complain about their screws. These are replacement screws. I had original T6s, but with these you cannot torque them hard. Once you get to it, okay, make sure that you're going down correctly, where it's smooth. And then once you get to the point where it's a little bit harder to turn, only do very, very light movement where you can't turn it with your fingers anymore. If you do it any harder, you're going to break the head off, and then you're going to cry, and then now you're down a broken screw, and you have to get a new sex bolt, unless you can fix it yourself, which is very, very difficult. You gotta keep in mind when you do the drops of lube, do not put a lot. Because if you put a lot, it's gonna get gunky and it's gonna get really, really slow and sluggish, and it's not gonna flip well. Make sure that the chevrons are not stupid. And now, ready to put the pivot screws in. The reason I wait till the last moment to do that is so that you actually have tension on the pivots, on the sex bolts, because when you normally if you just do one handle, sometimes you'll hit a point where the barrel will keep spinning. But if you squeeze the handles together, the sex bolts are not going to spin at all. And then you tighten it to whatever your preference is. With play, without play. Then you squeeze the handle so that they don't move. So this one has a little bit too much play on this side of the handle, so I'm going to push it this way a bit. And that's essentially as good as I can get it. Yeah, with minimal blade play, or with minimal play, with those tiny ass washers. I think I need a new washer on this side. But yeah, that's it. And as you can see, that little bit of lube helped. If you put no lube and you tighten it all the way, it's not going to move well. But very little amount of lube so that it doesn't get gunky. Oh. Hope you enjoyed watching.